kind of want to treat this as a bit of a talkback situation. So I think we should probably just get stuck straight into this. Last night, in case you missed it, I did. I was asleep. Valve released some news. Lucas, I think I linked you the article or from their blog post. And it is titled 2021 RMR Update. And then the subheading is an update on 2021 RMR events and 2020 RMR sticker capsules. So that title, as it stands, sounds pretty good. Like you read that, you're like, oh, stickers. Oh, that's cool. RMR update. Yeah, we want to know more about that. So let's kind of knock this out so we don't have to worry about talking about the sticker part. If you go on to read, and we'll go through this, and Lucas should have it up on screen. You can see here it says 2020 RMR sticker capsules. Over the past year, the top CSGO teams in the world competed in regional ranking events for invitations to a major championship. Ultimately, there would be no major in 2020, but it's important that fans have an opportunity to celebrate and recognize the hard work of the best teams of 2020. So we're excited to announce the 2020 CSGO RMR capsule. These capsules represent the teams that would have received invitations to the 2024 major, broken down by their invitation status, legend, challenger, contender. You can find the final RMR scores and standings here. So if you click that link where it says here, it takes you to a table. It shows you in different colors. Lucas, I will give that one to you so you can bring that up for everybody as well. And on this table, you've got Europe, Vitality, Heroic, NIP. They were the top dogs. Then you've got, you go down the list, even to the point where the South American squad, Boom, in Oceania, you have Renegades getting it, and in Asia, Tyloo. So all of these names on this list, whether it's yellow, blue, green, have all received stickers in the sticker capsule, even some of which, like 100 Thieves, no longer support Counter-Strike. But Gomez tweeted that apparently the money goes to the players. Now, I don't have any way to verify that, but I seem to trust Gomez. Do we, because in the article it says teams, right, boys? I don't know if you guys
Yeah, I think the deal is probably based on like the deal between the players and the teams on how they deal with the sticker money, right? Because most teams in their contracts, players in their contracts towards the teams have a clause that says that they get a percentage of the team stickers and like all of the player stickers, right? And now we don't have any player stickers for this thing. So the thing is, obviously there's going to be some kind of maybe weird situations where teams left, players left their organizations. So how is that going to be dealt with? I'm not completely sure, because it's similar to what happened with Godsend and their team, like Sticko and those guys going to FPX. So I don't know. It should be probably based on the old contract, but at the same time, who knows how this is going to be worked out legally. Maybe if someone wants to pull some shit, they probably can get away with it. But I don't know. That's just something to wait and see, and maybe we can get some comments from players as we go on.
Yeah, Striker, when you look at this, right, like you have Boom, who are now at MIBR, and Phelps, who's at Godsend instead of with the Boom guys, and they have a new guy. Like this in itself gets like a little bit muddy, right, of how all that is going to be broken down. Like, does Phelps get part of the sticker money because he was part of the team? Like, what do you think of those things?
Yeah, this is kind of going to be like a gentleman's agreement, hopefully, right? Just the players kind of like being reasonable about things, because I don't think there's any contract that can cover this, to be honest, because as you said, like they've already left the organization. So does this stand? As Prof said, like this is quite shady legally, I'd say, and it's not going to be very clear cut. So I think it's just going to come down to, I don't know, the people actually sitting down with each other and talking and hopefully hashing it out.
Just one thing to kind of take note of: these stickers are not player stickers for a reason. I think at least these stickers are here to support the organizations primarily, because they had the worst time during this during the pandemic in the last year, because they didn't get the opportunity to go to majors where they can have more exposures, where they can get that slice of the sticker money. Like, it's not as if any of these players, like, their future is going to change based on like getting a cut of this prize pool. Like not prize pool, but sticker money, right? Yeah. I don't think that's the case for any of these guys. So in some way, I think it is based on helping the teams in this time, and potentially then of course players will get some cut of it, but I don't expect it to be 100% anyway.
Yeah, I think like that would probably need to be clarified from the people who are receiving the money, right? Like if you are 100 Thieves and you come out and you go, they're probably not going to say anything, but they come out and go, yeah, the money's going to the boys, right? Which JKS is in Complexity, the other four of them are over there at Extreme, for example. This is kind of the smaller issue here. I guess some of the things here which we were questioning just on last week's show or this week's show, we were talking about what's going to happen with the RMR points. Is it going to get reset? You know, what does this mean for the teams? Well, in a way, people have been rewarded, so there's a positive. So we'll just continue reading down this article. So then under that, it says for these stickers, 50% of the proceeds directly support the team. So that's what we just covered off there. Okay. So now as far as 2021 RMR events are concerned, this is what it says. We'll continue to hold regional RMR events to identify the 24 teams to invite to the 2021 PGL Stockholm Major. In the link below, you can find all the details and updates to the 2021 RMR event system, but here are some highlights, right? So obviously reading into this in full detail is something that people are going to need to sit down and do, but these are the key takeaways that Valve have noted. RMR points are reset for 2021. However, the 2020 RMR Legends will still start with 600, challengers with 300, and contenders with 100 points. So basically, off of that list that we were looking at just before, where you could see where the teams were, there's also has their overall points as well. So all of those points that we were just looking at before will get reset for everybody. But for these teams who are highlighted, so Vitality, Heroic, NIP, they get 600. Astralis, Big, Fnatic, G2, OG, Godsent, they all get 300. Phaser, North, they get was it 100? Did I say it was 100? Yeah, 100 points. That's how that'll work, right? Now, at least that's like a starting block, but as we know, these RMR events all scale up as we get closer, and one of them has to be on LAN before the event. Now, that's going to be an important piece of information to keep in mind once we get into the conversation later. Yeah.
Just to put this on the right scale, right? 600 points is just the baseline, right? And only for the Legends.
Yep.
And then the first RMR is already 1600, and then the LAN one is 2500 with like an optional 2001 for the first place in between, right? If there's two online ones and then one LAN one.
Yeah. I'll link it to in TeamSpeak.
Yeah,
maybe you can bring it up.
like the link, yeah.
Yeah.
And
right.
so like that.
Just for example, these teams that have 600 points, they can get double that for finishing 5th in the first RMR that's coming up.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to make or break them. It's just maybe going to put them like in the bracket above if like they end up on the like on the margins and then stuff like that. It's not gonna determine like a majority of the teams or anything.
Yeah, so I think when we consider that, the thing is with those RMR events, all those names that we were just talking about, Vitality, Heroics, all those guys who are the ones who get the points that we're talking about, the 100, the 300, the 600, whatever, they all will have to be invited to the RMR events for their regions. And then obviously the rest of it gets made up, we know, through the different qualifiers and for other teams to be able to qualify. So this is good news for some teams like the Mouse Sports and the Complexities of the world. It's obviously not great news for the teams who did a lot of work last year to get this, but they get the sticker money, which we are theorizing should go to them, which kind of offsets that in a way, and they get some starting points, right? So if you are a good team, a top team, you should have been able to contend anyway, because this was some of the problems we were discussing, was like, well, how relevant are these points going to be? We never know when we're getting back. So I think it's probably better if they do it on a yearly basis. And it kind of now is like, okay, well, we squash it all. If you've had roster changes or whatever, that's no longer going to really play that much of a factor. And speaking of that,
I mean, that's the reason why I kind of am okay with this, are the roster changes and the changes to the rules that we'll talk about, I guess, later. Just because, like, the fact that Vitality would get punished for 20% of their points because they changed the guy that they had that'll be almost 2 years before the actual major happens. Because if we didn't reset now, the RMR points will go back all the way to the Starlighter major in 2019. So if you make one change from your players that you had there, you'd lose 20%. Even if that happens before the major, literally 2.5 year span, you'd still lose 20% of a large portion of your points, right? And someone else can do that same change, let's say after the Starlighter major, or change like 3-4 players, and then they can start accumulating and they wouldn't be punished the same way, right? It's just kind of weird, let's say.
Yeah, and I think that, like, because this is the thing that I think a lot of people seem to be forgetting with all of these decisions getting constantly made on the fly. the world as we know it is literally changing every day. It's not like we all foresaw this and thought what was going to be the best system and the best plan, right? This has all come about. This has all come about because of the problems that we're seeing. So Valve are obviously plugging holes as they go, and they're not going to be perfect with this because nobody so far in the whole globe in a global pandemic has made the right call, other than maybe like Australia and New Zealand, and they fucked everybody and closed everything down, which is kind of like the discussion we're going to